fresh furniture. Today we've got this beautiful antique to do. I'd like to do a special shout out to all the teachers of the world. Teachers are superheroes in disguise. First time I've got to use a fuse. So I'm really excited about that. And this colour is called, this is Sugar Plum. Sugar Plum. My first step is, let's clean this baby up. So I'm going to use Millie's Clean Cut. It'll give a beautiful clean in, and I have already made a pre-made bottle to clean that, and I'll just spray it on. Once that's sprayed on, I will use nice warm water and I'll wash it off. So, Frank, how you doing there, buddy? He's sleeping on the job. I swear, pugs are like cats. Sleep everywhere. And they've got beautiful big attitude.
I wasn't sure what colour to paint this buffet, and I actually put up a selection of the Suffuse paints on the Millie Facebook page, and Sugar Plum was voted the most desirable paint for that particular buffet. However, when I cleaned it, I decided that it wouldn't really suit it. So I chose another piece of furniture from my workshop that I thought would look amazing with the Sugar Plum. So I've kind of swapped places, and here I am using the Festool vacuum section to give it a good vacuum before I cleaned it with the Millie's Clean Cut and washed that off with the warm water. So luckily we can just lift, and if we look on the other side here,
it's coming apart there.
We're really lucky that mirror didn't fall out. It's coming apart. Okay, so hubby's going to fix that because he's awesome. Thanks. The sides of the mirror was also coming undone, so hubby glued them together with Gorilla Glue and clamped them together and left it for 24 hours. Then he took the top of that mirror frame off so I could give it a good sand down. Which is great. Thank you very much, hubby. And we're going to get sand using my Festool RTSC 400. When the surface is really flat, I'm just going to use the standard interface pad. This particular drills does have curves, so then I'm going to use my soft pad. So that way I'm not going to damage the shape of my drawers. Component here is wireless. That is battery. It's great. You have to make sure your Dust Extractor is compatible to power. And basically when I turn it on, there'll be a couple of second delay and then the Dust Extractor will start. So I hit the switch and you gotta listen. If it hasn't gone on, it means that the pairing button needs to be pushed again. There is a button at the front here and you need to see the blue light turned on for pairing. I can't take these handles off because unfortunately these are nailed in. I will be painting them over, which is a bit of a shame. Okay. I used a 120 grit sandpaper. With the Dust Extractor, there's very little dust, so I was happy to have Frank inside. I really like the Festool sandpaper. They're pretty easy just to get on and off. Your interface is really easy to lock in as well, guys. When you have these, the Festool man said as well to make sure always put your Festools away because direct sunlight can damage these and also your pads. They are expensive to replace, so you do want to look after them and make sure they last as long as possible. Alright, so I've got this off because on these drawers here it's got some curvature, and then I've also got the handles which I can't take off. So I just want to have it a little bit more delicate. The soft interface made sanding a lot easier. I was able to sand really well around the handles without damaging them, and getting into those curves was a piece of cake. Just left such a nice professional clean finish. I was in awe. If you can't afford these, Millie's do sell their own range of sanders, which also have the soft pads without the price tag, so you might want to check them out as well. I'm going to sand on the underside. So one of the big reasons that I got this is because a lot of furniture have these little curves. If you have sanded them by hand, you will know how long they take. This guy here, it's just doing all the work for me. I do my orbital sanding with the 150. Now, the good thing about this hose, it will connect to all of your Festool devices. You don't have to worry about different fittings. You just simply push it on so it's nice and tight. This one here, it's an electric one. It comes with a really long cord. So it's huge. It's a really nice, easy one. Just connect it and then you twist it to lock it in place. Okay, it's pretty easy. Now this is where your settings is. It was up to 6. I'm going to turn this down to setting 2. So hopefully this time, this will be my second try with the Festool sander. I found it too tough last time. Hopefully on setting 2 we'll have a much better go. Okay, we lift up this little guy here and you can actually connect your sander. It's got its own plug. Okay, so that's all activated now. To keep the hose and cord together, I would just get a Velcro tie that you can just rip on and off. Your settings for the Festool sander, the main recommendation is that you have it halfway. So see how this light's halfway. This particular sander, when I start my 150, this vacuum cleaner will turn on. So make sure, see how you've got over here, you've got really heavy dots. So that means if there's lots of scratches, that's where you want your coarse. I'm going to leave it on the fine. I'm not going to turn it onto the coarse this time. There's no need. You push that up and it turns on. So when I turn that on, after about 5 seconds, my Dust Extractor should connect. Let's have a listen. When I turn it off, there's about a 5-second delay. It's kind of gripped on really fine. Not so easy to take off. There we go. Okay, that locks on really, really tight. I'm pretty impressed. There was no way that this was going to fall off during sanding. I've had other orbital sanders where the disc has just flown off. I have seen people sort of say that they leave their phone interface pad on just to protect this, because this part here is about, in Australia, about $100 if you want to replace it. Alright, so I'm going to use 120 grit sandpaper and I'm going to use this to sand the top of my dresser. The sander comes with a handle. I didn't like it. I found there was too much vibration. This is a lot heavier. It's 150. You have the option, if you do like the handle, to screw it on either side. So if you're a lefty or you're a righty, kind of accommodates for that. Pretty much it. Don't push down too hard on it. Okay, Festool sanders don't like to be pushed down too. Alright, I took the interface pad off and 120 sandpaper. Setting it is at 2. I'm going to put my hose over my shoulder. Having the Festool hose over my shoulder was definitely a huge improvement to the usability when sanding. Having it on a lower setting on 2 was great. The first time I used it, as I said, it was really getting away from me. 2 felt a lot more comfortable. We have finished sanding all this back. The top here is only loosely put on. I won't be painting it just yet. And today I'm going to use Authentico Primer. I really enjoyed using this last time. This blocks tannin, and the best thing about it working inside, it has very low VCO, which is fantastic. Unlike Zinza as well, it's water-based, so I can wash my brushes instead of using those disposables and throwing them away. Okay, so guys, I'm going to be putting 2 coats of this on. It's a highly solvent-free. Do you know what? I have to go up glasses. I'm going to go and get my glasses. I'm struggling to see. From my frame, I'm going to use my Uni Pro. Now I find with the Authentico Primer, it goes on a lot easier because it's so thick. If you do, just give it a little bit of a mist. I used a 320 sandpaper to sand in between coats. I didn't touch this part yesterday because I actually hadn't really had a vision as to what I wanted to do with it. I wanted to see this cleaned up a little bit more before I made my final choice. So the plan is at the moment, and you know I change sometimes along the way, is I'm going to keep this beautiful wood on the inside of it. I'm going to paint this part. So I'm going to sand all this back and we'll paint some of this. Alright, I'm going to drag my sander out again and I'm going to give the entire top here a sand. It is not attached because we took the mirror off, and to be honest it's easier laying down, and I'm going to leave that raw anyway, so I'm not too stressed about it. Alright, time to get it to work. Festool is really neat. It comes in these little boxes and they lock together. So I've got the other sanders on here. I just simply turn it and that's good to go. There is a little tray with the RTSC at the bottom, and this is where your batteries are kept. Okay, if you want to see how much charge this is, you push it. I've got 3 bars going, so that means that I can use this, or I've got the connector here. Okay, so I can use a cord with it. So it's cordless, or you can actually plug it in and use the cord. So there is a green button here. Everything green on Festool does something. So just press, that will take out this part, which allows me to use the cord. It's just the fitting there. So you've got your compartments, push it in, and I will use this guy. It's really easy. I'll just hear a click and she's ready to go. Alright, I have, I think 120 sandpaper on that. The Festool Mini is great because I really love this cord holder. So when I'm not using it, it's nice and tidy, and this is really long. So if you've got a big workshop, it's on wheels, which makes it even easier. The hose, okay, as you can see the clip here, I just have it up, and the hose is stored inside, which is pretty nifty. There is a compartment here. I'm going to get the hose out. I can put it like that, and also too I can do that with a cord. So there's a little slot here, so it comes up that way. So that way you can kind of join it up with the hose. Okay, so again I just close and lock, and this is where all the magic happens. I've got my Festool and it simply just slides in. I press Bluetooth. Bluetooth line is on, so when this starts, the vacuum started. To be honest, this suffused paint, to paint with, it was just amazing. Like, it is beautiful. It was like painting with silk. I've never used a suffused before. I wasn't sure what to expect. When it dried and went very purple, I kind of figured there was something wrong. I am in awe of the suffused. It is magnificent. My mother-in-law, who helped me with my rice paper, I think I've got her addicted to this furniture painting, to be honest. So she came down and she confiscated the paintbrush and she had to paint, and she was like, oh, this is so nice to paint with. This is not sugar plum, this is actually jacaranda. From time to time there is mix-ups with paint, and colour is absolutely stunning. It's only first coat, very impressed with the coverage and everything. It is incredible, but not quite the look I was looking for.
Alright, so the first thing I need to do is to mix my colours. Now, blue and red make purple. So I've got Carts and Millie's The Blue Hole. Okay, I'm going to mix with Carts and Millie's The Old Place. Now I'll just dab to see how I went on the colour. It's kind of a nice bright purple, which is not bad. Alright, so I've just eyeballed it. If you want it darker, I was going to put some black in if I didn't get the right shade. So this is my suffuse in the, it's not sugar plum, this is jacaranda. My bad. I need another bowl for the penny, and I'm hoping that I have enough penny, so that will be my third colour. And I'm going to do penny last, so I might work on these two first. I've got about 50 mils of penny left. I'm using a big dry brush to blend my colours, so I will also need a paper towel. Okay, so that'll be to wipe off the excess. We'll see how we go. Alright, onwards and upwards, my lady friends and gentlemen friends. Alright, so we've got a different colour paintbrush for each. Got my paper toweling. Kick Frank out because he'll want to help. Alright, let's do this. I've got water on this brush. I've got my dry brush. I have my paper toweling to wipe off the excess on. I'm going to use a smaller brush because, as I said before, brushes are dirty. I just found them full of... I've got a cold, so I've been out in bed for a few days. Alright, now this the mineral paint, after using the suffuse, is a lot more watery, so be careful of the difference. I've probably put too much water on there. Now I'm going to bring this up, all the way up. Just one hit. And then I'm going to come back down so the suffuse a lot thicker. I'm going to offload as much as I can of the diffuser, don't want very much, and then I'm going to bring that down. And we're going to paint every which way. Blend, come back up here with my purple. Now it's easier to blend if you haven't blended before using similar colours. We've got that darker too that's combining, which is great. So I want to bring the circle here. Okay, so again, I want to have on the outside my darker shading. Subtle blends. Thank you, Frank, for, you know, sharing the love. By the time I started painting the front of the dresser, I was feeling really sick and wanting to go to bed. I started off doing the blend on the drawers and then I gave up. I thought, I can't be bothered doing this. I'm just going to paint it all with a dark colour. When the purple dried, unfortunately, I still wasn't happy with the colour. As you can see, I put a little bit of gold gilding wax on the handles. Frank even jumped in and tried to help me, which was really funny. And I still didn't enjoy the purple colour purple. It's not the vision I had for this piece of furniture. I think the jacaranda colour would be suited with other pieces of furniture. And I just couldn't enjoy the purple on this particular piece of furniture. So what do? I had to sit back and think a little. So I wasn't overly happy with the purple, but I thought I could live with it at this stage. So I put some painter's tape down, and then I did 2 coats of the Authentico. Then I move on to, I take this outside and I give it a really good sand down. Then I went back inside, hooked my sander up to the Dust Extractor and used a 320 grit sandpaper as well. And the mirror. The mirror was quite interesting and so easy using the soft interface pad with it. I usually avoid mirrors, but the sander made the job really quick and easy. Today I chose the Millie's Washed Away Stain. How now? It's beautiful. I use a damp sponge to apply my stain. Before I put the stain on, I actually like to get a damp microfiber cloth and wipe over the wood first. And then in long streaks, I apply the Millie stain. I just find it helps it absorb into the wood better. That's just the way I do it. There's no right or wrong way. Once the wood's done, I go outside and I stain the top of the mirror frame and it comes out really beautiful. Okay, so when I was painting with my last colour and I made up a mix that I really liked, I added the jacaranda colour and I was going to do a blend, which changed the colour. So it is more purple than that deeper purple that I want. When I painted the top of the dresser on the mirror section, I really liked it. I think that's more what I was after. So what I'm going to do now is something that I should have done in the first place. I'm going to make samples of my paint, and I should have done that. And so when I make it up, I will test it to this particular colour, and I'll put like dots to see if this colour matches. If you do want to make up your own paint, it's also good to measure it. But in the future, I will be doing this, and I'll write down measurements. I might even weigh my paint, how much I put in. So if I want to replicate this particular shade, I can. And it would have solved a lot of issues. Although I did crack the poopies and I did kind of mix the jacaranda in, which is why we are where we are. For those of you who are giggling in the background, because there's probably a few of you knowing what I've done wrong, please be kind to me. I'm still not well. All right, and then I got thinking, okay, so what's the difference? When I painted the back of this, I have used the Authentico primer, and then I put the purple straight on. If we think about the drawers, the first thing I did was a jacaranda colour. The second coat I wanted to blend. So I've got this purple, this color that I originally made up anyway. And I used that darker color to go around the jacaranda in the middle, and I blended. Then I cracked the poopy, and then I mixed all these two colors, the jacaranda and that color that I mixed, which created this color. So because I've done those base colors, it's actually changing when I put color on top of the final color that I'm doing. So I could put primer on it and I could just start again, or I could put mix it up with jacaranda, and this was too purple for me, so that wasn't my mission. I want this kind of more of a grey, violet, purple, deep dark color. So I had a bit of a think, and I've got the blue hole. Do you know what I did? So I painted the blue hole paint straight on. Now this color of blue here is pretty dark anyway. All right, there's a lot of different tone to it, and if you look and compare it to the purple, it's a pretty good match. And match it. It is so similar to this color here, I can get away with it. All right, what I'm gonna do, and this is great because I don't have to mix colors because my head's still stupid and slow because I've still got the flu. I am just going to use the one color, and I am going to just paint directly over this purple. Because we've got different tones, so if we have a look at this, I've got, you can see a little bit of the highlights from the base color, the jacaranda coming out, and you can see different shades of purple. I'm okay with that. I think it'll add interest and character. Alright guys, hopefully the last time painting. Now I'm really pleased, this is a Millie's How Now. Absolutely amazing. Now the Millie's products, their stains has an inbuilt top coat. This feels beautiful and smooth and soft. I'm not going to put anything more on it. The Millie's mineral paint has an inbuilt top coat as well, and I'm not going to put a top coat on today. This is going to be a first for me, right? Because I am that texture person. Alright, I'm going to get painting. And it is a relief, to be honest. It is a relief to know where I'm going with this project. This project, I nearly kind of went, right, you just go in the naughty corner and I don't want to have anything to do with you. Alright, Mr. Frank, I'm going to get into it. I'm going to finish this project. Wait till you see the mirrors on. Alright, last coat. Alright, hey guys, so as you can see, we've got a little bit of differentiation with my colours. So this is the How Now. I did 2 coats, and this guy here I kind of did 2, but I perhaps didn't do enough. So I've got my Millie's How Now out again, and I'm simply just going to make it darker as well. We had a little bit of paint over here that I sanded up, so it gives me a chance to just go back over and tidy that up. But as for the grain of the wood, I really loved it. I have a damp over sponge like before. Shake this baby up. Now what I like to do with wood, and this is just the way I do it, lots of people are different. I actually like to get a damp microfiber cloth and just give it a bit of wipe over. Okay, and I just find, it's just me, I'm probably hallucinating, but I do find the stain just seems to go on better if it's just a little bit damp. Okay, so again, we just put this, okay, I only used a little bit. Now I just sort of massage it in a little. So I don't want any streaks, don't want any lines, don't want any sort of build up or clumps. So I just kind of turn it over, and I'll just take that little bit of excess off. Alright, let's look at the before photos of our dresser. So she started off pretty grotty, went to the jacaranda, then to the dark purple, a little bit mismatched in colour, and finally that blue all over it, and I think she's come up beautiful. Guys, it's been a long video today. Thank you. I'm trying to keep it real. Yes, I struggled with this one, but I just want to just show you guys perseverance, guys. Let's not give up. This one nearly went to the naughty quarter, but thanks to my friends, I just kept going, and I think I've created something really nice. Happy painting, and see you next time. Bye.